this is obviously something that I constantly dealing with depression is something, it's a constant battle. And on top of that, it's not just depression that I deal with, but it's also perfection. And I try to be perfect in everything. I want to come on here as quick as I possibly could and talk to you guys about what literally just happened. So I was headed home from work, and I waited to the last minute twice. First time I waited to the last minute to take my exit and almost missed my exit and was able to get over as soon as possible. And then I was supposed to take another exit to actually get to my grandmother's house. I was going to take another exit and I missed that exit. And instead I kept going. And how the highways are around here in certain areas, once you miss one exit, it takes a while before you're able to go to and get to the next exit. So therefore I was just very upset with myself. It's my fault, of course. And I waited to the last minute to basically get over, and you guys are probably like, seriously, like, why are you allowing this small little thing to get to you? To you, it's small because it's not something. Listen, every single one of us, we cannot get upset at the next person because they don't understand, you know, because you may not understand what that person may be going through, because it's something that you don't have an issue with. Every single one of us deal with things in different ways. Every single one of us are different, and so this is where we are able to understand that we are completely different. My situation is something that I personally deal with. It's something that someone else may not be upset about. I know that I was listening to a podcast with Oprah Winfrey, and she had a guest on, and this guest was talking about how she was like, she felt like she wasn't pretty enough and things of that nature. And every single time someone would talk to her about being pretty, she that she was pretty and she was a beautiful little girl when she was younger, that she it messed with her in a way that she didn't feel like she was pretty anymore, especially when when we all go through that puberty phase. She felt like she was not pretty anymore, and she felt like she had to live up to that pretty status that people, or that label that people, she felt as though people placed on her. And I'm like, I can't necessarily relate to this, but I kind of understand what she's going through at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to count her out because it was unrelatable to me, knowing that it only because it wasn't something that I felt as though it was not important in a way where it was it's not something that you should get upset about. But who am I to say that something like that shouldn't upset somebody else? That's their own personal situation. And so I began to continue to listen to what she had to say, and she talked a lot of truth. She ended up talking a lot of truth, and I really enjoyed the podcast session with her because it became something that I actually needed to hear. And so what I'm trying to tell you guys right now is, don't count this session out. Don't count this conversation out because it may not be something that you feel that is valuable to your life. But continue to listen and see that, hey, I do have some type of connection to what she may be saying, right? So what I may be going through may not be what you're going through. And how I'm able to actually talk to you guys about it right now is truly amazing in itself, because I was just feeling as though like, how am I going to be able to get through this? I was trying to allow, perfection to go away, where I would not think about it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. And it was very hard. And I said, you know what? I can't do this. Like, I can't allow myself to feel this way and to be this way. What I have to do is I have to, let that go. Because it is going to do more harm than good. I mean, it's getting worse. It really is. I used to do this all the time. Confession time. I used to do this all the time, where I would get very upset about very small things because it didn't go my way, or because I felt that I could have done better. I could have done something different, that I put myself in that situation, and I messed up, and I would call myself names and everything. I mean, it was nobody was there, and nobody knew about it except me and God. That's it. And I would just call myself names and do different things because I felt like I should know better. I should do better. And I was better than that. It was me, trying to live up to perfection, trying to live up to something that is impossible and unattainable. So that's why I want to call today's message, perfection and depression do not mix. They just don't mix at all. When you have perfection, you are trying to live up to something, you immediately become depressed because what you are trying to match is unattainable. You always fall short, and you try to figure out, well, why am I falling short, and what can I do next time? Make sure that I get to that point. And it's impossible. It's impossible to be perfect. It's impossible to live up to that expectation that you place on yourself for if someone else is placing it on you. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, it took everything in me. What I feel, and I don't know, you guys can let me know if this is something that you relate to. But when I feel like I am trying to be perfect in that space, in that situation, and it does not go as planned because I wait till last minute, like today, I was on the road, I messed up, I did not get over early enough so that I'm able to take my right exit. I missed my exit. I kept going, and I said, you know what? I was pissed. I was pissed because I missed my exit that I should have taken if I would have gotten over much sooner. And what's crazy is that I literally was just talking to the Lord about how I am doing so much better with listening to podcasts and reading his word, or listening to his word, listening to Christian songs, gospel songs, just listening to his music, and just it helping me to learn that I don't have to be perfect, and I don't have to, just helping me through my depression and what I'm going through in my everyday life. And I feel so much better. It's helping me daily with processing everything that's going on, and making sure that I don't reflect back on what just happened. And we're going to talk about that next. Reflection and depression do not mix as well. And so I was just talking to him about that, and then all of a sudden I'm done talking, and I'm waiting for my opportunity to go ahead and get over. And there's trucks and cars that's trying to, cars that decide that they don't want to let you over, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity. Well, that opportunity passed because I was not able to get over. I had to actually keep going, and that just pissed me completely off because I was not able to get over in time to make my exit. So it took me some time to just calm down. And when I have to calm down, I mean where I'm able to have a solid head, a level head, where I'm not worried about, anything. I go into a rage, but I make sure that I consume that rage, right? Instead of, having outbursts or anything like that, I consume it, and I I have like heat rising from me because I'm in such a rage, and I feel like I just want to honestly like just call myself names and tell myself how dumb I am and I should have gotten over, and just all of these different things. And those are the things that usually come across my mind every single time that I do something that I know I should have done. I know that I could have, this didn't have to happen, but because of my actions it did happen. And that's what really eats at me. It's like it's my fault, it's my actions, and that's something that I keep replaying over and over and over in my head, and it just gets worse and worse. And I had to take some time, and then all of a sudden I got to the point where I made it to the next exit, but I said, you know what, I'm not even going to turn around because I was so pissed. I was not going to turn around. I said, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going and go to my mom's house. And so that's what I did. And that's where I am currently. But in between that time, when I was trying to not get frustrated and angry and not allow it to boil over, I called my mom and I told her, because I was so upset that I didn't even want to talk to God. I didn't want to talk to God. I didn't want to read my Bible study plan that I have, that we're doing at church. I didn't want to do that because I have Bible studies tomorrow, and there's lessons in my Bible study book that I wanted to go ahead and do today. But because of that, I was just like, I don't even want to do it. And then I said, okay, Janelle, you got to calm down. You got to calm down. So I got to the point where I called my mom and I told her that I was not going to come down there to my grandmother's house. And she asked me if everything was okay. And that's one thing, I don't know about you guys, but I hate it when people ask me if everything is okay. I know, I'm trying to get past that part of my life, but I'm just like, right now, I'm just like, if you ask me if everything is okay, I'm going to go crazy. Because I'm like, please don't ask me that when I feel like I just want to break this car. I want to break this steering wheel. I want to break everything because of how I'm feeling at that moment. Like, I don't want to go off on you, but I will. Like, that's how bad it is. And y'all, you'll probably like, girl, you got a problem. I do have a problem, and I'm working on it. It's something that if you don't take care of it right at that moment, that you will have those type of issues where you don't want to, where it will fester and it will boil over and it will go into other parts of other relationships, and it will take over where you aren't the same person, and that you were 2 minutes ago, and you will go into a deep depression, all because of this small, very minute situation that you allowed to grow and grow and grow in just seconds time, right? And I'm learning to make sure that I don't do that. I'm learning to make sure that I have control. And I'm like, you know what? Don't think about it. Because my thing is that I think about it. And I'm learning daily to not think about what I'm going through. I have to not think about what I just went through 10 seconds from then, right? So what happened earlier of me missing my exit, I would usually replay that over and over in my mind and get to a point where I'm just like, I could have done this. And then I get to a point where I call myself names, and then I get to a point where I, can possibly start throwing stuff and just go into a complete rage. And so or go off on somebody else. And so instead of doing that, I say, let me go ahead and stop. Think about it, take control. Don't think about something else. Don't think about what just happened, but think about something else and how you can get away from this. So that's exactly what I did. I calmed down. I was breathing. I made sure that I thought about something else. And at that time, I was able to call my mom and let her know that I was not going to be able to make it. And then also, I text her a little bit later when I was closer to her house. I text her and I said that voice text, because I'm driving, voice text. So I voice text her and I told her that, can you get my Bible study book and my Bible? Usually what I would do is I would say, you know what, I don't want to deal with my Bible study book. I don't want to deal with any of those things. Usually I would say, I don't even want to talk to God right now. I don't even want to have anything to do with him right now. Like, that's how bad it gets for me. And I'm honest, I'm being brutally honest about the thoughts that go on in my mind. And I'm just like, no, that's just the devil that is trying to attack my thoughts and get me into a place where I cut off God. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to calm my little self down. Everything is going to be completely fine. Let me just breathe, take a moment, and I'll be able to get through it. And so that's exactly what I did. And that really helped me, so that I was able to go ahead and voice text my mom at that moment and let her know, hey, can you bring my Bible study book and also my Bible? Because I need to make sure what I placed, and I'll let you guys in on a little part of my Bible study book that we are supposed to write in daily. So one thing that I did pray about was that I wanted God to help me with this. I wanted him to help me with my perfectionism, if that's even a word, but I'm gonna make it a word. I wanted him to help me with that. I wanted him to help me in not getting angry and upset about the small things, but help me through it and being able to not give up on him and not walk away from him in a way where I'm just like, you know what, I need space, I need time, but being able to talk to him through it all. And so I said, that's why I told my mom, go ahead and bring my Bible so that I can go ahead and continue to read his word, continue to be a part of and read my Bible study book and write in my Bible study book and be able to pray, because at the end, on the last page, we always are supposed to basically write a letter to God, write a prayer to God. And so I make sure I cannot wait to that part. I make sure that I everything that I've learned and that has helped me in, bringing issues out, I'm able to go ahead and write them out to him. So that's something that I will be, I've talked to him about before, and that's something that I want to talk to him about again and just continue to stay with that. And I know that he's helping me, because had this been another day, another time, I would have just said, forget about the Bible, forget about my Bible study book. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't even want to read it. I don't even want to go to Bible study anymore, because of something very small that I allowed to get to me to the point where I don't even want to associate with God and let him know, let him in on the hurt that I am feeling at that moment. And I said, you know, and I'm so happy that I'm not in that place anymore. And I'm so happy that I told him before that I don't want to get to that place anymore. I don't want to get to a place where I stop talking to you because I'm upset. I want to be able to talk to you through my time of being upset, because that's going to help me to be able to move forward. So this is what I want to encourage you guys as we come to a close with this. I want you guys to talk it out, amongst yourselves, talk it out to God. Let him know about what's going on. Take the time to breathe. Just inhale, exhale, breathe, calm yourself down. Don't think about, don't put yourself in a space of thinking back on what just happened. And we'll talk about more of, you know, that reflection later on. But don't place yourself in a situation where you are going to regret it because you allowed it to fester. Don't allow it to boil over into, you know, a relationship with someone else, where you are attacking them because of how something is making you feel. Take the time to breathe. Take some space. Take some time to just calm down. Take some time to just go ahead and not think about what just happened, but how can you go ahead and move forward from that? How can you go ahead and take that out of your mind? You need to immediately remove it. Learn how to remove what just happened right away. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and immediately remove it from your mind, and just, you know, chop it up and just let it go, because it's going to break you and place you into a deep, dark space that you don't want to be in, that you shouldn't even place yourself in, because that's what you're ultimately doing. You're placing yourself in a dark space where you don't even need to be. You shouldn't be. So I hope that that helps you, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys very soon.